Hello and welcome to the Neurodivergent Show with me, Emo Falami. I am your host here on the Neurodivergent Show, and this is where we discuss all things autism, ADHD, OCD, dyslexia, and more. On today's show, I will be sharing something personal. That is tips that helped my nonverbal kids to start communicating. And today promises to be very practical. Look at I have books, I have blogs, I have things I'm going to show you. We're going to learn stuff together. How to get your kid that is probably nonverbal to start communicating. And we're going to go into the first tip right away. First, I want to encourage that if you have nonverbal kids, one of the things that helped me with my nonverbal kid was kids. Okay, let's give a background. I've got twin boys that are neurodivergent. Okay. These boys did not start using their words until about 2, 3. And during that time, I was worried, concerned. And even when they started using their words, it was just one word, 1, 2, 3 words. But thankfully, right now, they're about 5 and they've built on their words so beautifully. Now they're using sentences, communicating their needs, their wants. And we didn't get here all in one day. It took time, it took processes. We had speech therapists come work with them at home, and we had all that going on. But what I want to talk to you about today is what parents can do, what I had to do. What I've also had many parents, what they said they've done to help their kids that used to be nonverbal become verbal. So, one thing as a parent you will have to do, or that helped me, I should say, is understanding the issue. Now, there are kind of many ways to this. Some kids are actually neurodiverse, meaning they are autistic, they have ADHD, they have something going on that they're just different. And some kids just have speech delay, they have language delay. And as parents, I think it's important you understand the difference between the two, because if you don't, you may not, you may not it may not be the right approach. While trying to get them to what you need them to be or what you need them to do, you may not utilize the right approach. So if you're a parent out there, I'm going to encourage you, understand your kid, understand your child. How would you know, or how would you be able to tell the difference if it's just speech delay, or if we were discussing, or if we were looking at things like autism and ADHD? Alongside speech delay, you'd have other things attached to it. For instance, if you're dealing with an autistic kid, they may not make eye contact. They may have, seasons of meltdowns where, they're hitting their head, or, they're hurting themselves or hurting other people. They may not sleep well. They may be walking on tiptoes. They may have, issues with their food, like not eating well. Those were the kind of things I found out with my own kid as well, to make me know that they are neurodiverse. So one thing I'd say is understand your kid. If it's autism, I just mentioned some of those things. If it's ADHD, your kids may be hyper, your kids may be restless, your kid may be inattentive. You have things like that going on. So just try and make research. And even if you're not able to get a diagnosis for your kid yet, try and make research to just understand what may be going on with your kid, especially if it comes with other things. Now, if all your kid has is speech delay, meaning they cannot pronounce certain sounds like they say, instead of saying speech, they say pitch, something like that. That's speech delay. And language delay would be, just overall, they cannot make words, they cannot make sentences. If that's all your kid has, but your kid has good social interaction with peers and other things, it may just be speech delay. So again, understand your kid. Understand the issue. Are we discussing neurodiversity? Are we discussing autism? Are we discussing ADHD? Or are we just discussing speech delay? Number 2, I'd say every parent out there, if you want to understand your kid better, or if you want to help them get from non-talking to talking, is await readiness on their path. Now, this is a very big one. Before my kids started talking, people gave me so many tips and gave me so many pointers. They were like, it's the food you're giving them, change their diet. Some people said it's the supplement. So, I had all those things. And you know what? I feel like people actually meant well, right? Because they tried those things and it worked for them. Unfortunately, it wasn't working for my twins because, number one, they wouldn't even eat something else, so changing their diets wasn't working anyway. And, we tried all those things, but it still wasn't working. My kids talked when they were ready to. And that's a big one that many parents may not want to accept. I mean, of course, I challenge them and all those things. But if I want to be honest with you, I wouldn't say it's 100% what I did or what the speech therapist did or I would say it played more to their readiness. So I'd say in understanding your kid, search for readiness. Because many times, one of the mistakes I made also with my kids was I'd force them into speaking. I'm like, say water, water. I have a bottle. Do I have a bottle here? I have a bottle. I'm like, you have to say water. If you want water, you have to say water. And they would cry and I would be so frustrated. It just never worked. But when they were ready, they just said water on their own. I haven't taught them for so long. So as a parent, I know that it can be very tricky. Like, am I going to wait until they are 10? But I'm just going to say, I wait some readiness on their path because that is going to help you in helping to get them to talk. Now, let's get into the practical things. Spend time to build trust. With my twins, I think up until they were 3, all I was to them was the teacher. I was just going to teach them everything. I wanted them to learn and I was going to teach them. But that was working because they were learning just because of, the way they're wired. But it wasn't very effective because many times, when I'm trying to get them, they had this thing that just made, I was like a teacher to them and that was it. I wasn't their friend. I didn't understand what they liked, what they disliked, and that did not play well in the relationship I was trying to have with them and also in helping to get them to talk. So you know what we started doing one day? This. My husband is going to laugh when he says this. This is the lion. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the tiger. We have the tiger and the lion. This tiger built our friendship. How? One day, we were I was trying to teach them because I started teaching them quite early. As little as they were 2 or something, I started taking them classes and all. But then, it was a tiger, and then I just put a tiger on their body and they started laughing. And so what I do with a tiger is, what we started doing with a tiger is many times we'll start running around with the tiger. I'm like, tiger is coming for you. Row, row, row. And so we run around the house, we'll play, we'll have fun. We can do that for like 20, 30 minutes. And once we started doing that, I felt my kids started, they wanted to start playing with me, right? Because I wasn't just a teacher anymore. They started trusting me that I wanted them to have fun. I'm not sure what was going on in their head, but I could see the difference in attitude. I started spending more time with them, and it wasn't just about teaching them and helping them. It was just about building that friendship, building that trust. And so when I started teaching them using that method, playing with them, trying to understand them, trying to, just sit down with them and just listen to their blabbing and stuff, it played well into our relationship because they started trusting me more and they started coming to me, to, communicate with me, whether by pointing or whatever it is they wanted to do. But I'd say that once I started playing with them, once I started building that trust, it helped. So when I'm talking to them, sometimes they are listening and they're just not about, I just wanted to teach them. I just wanted them to talk. They didn't see me as that person, just that person anymore. They started seeing me as their friend. I hope that helps somebody. Let's go to number 4. The fourth tip is introducing early teachings with things they love, Now, many times as parents, we want to teach. The goal is to teach. The goal is to get them to do what we need them to do. But I found out that there are many ways to go about it. And one way to go about it, especially with neurodivergent kids, is teaching them what they love. What they love. My kids, early on, I found out that they love reading. And as soon as I understood that, I knew that was my aim. I was going to use everything reading to get them to do what I needed to do. So what I did then was, instead of just teaching them and all, I created a binder. Now, this wasn't the binder we started with. This is quite different. I hope you can see it. This is quite different. We started with just early, simple things like car in the binder and stuff. But I started using words like pictures and words. And because they could read quite early, the words helped them. Let me open this binder for you, and then you'd see these are a little bit more things I started doing when they were 4 and stuff. Let's see if you can see. I think the lightning, let's see. All right, I'm trying to see. So this one says, buckle my seatbelt, eat my food, open the drawer. This we started doing when they were about 4. When I started taking them about 2, I just had cat, dog, something. And because they could read, it was effective in them reading and seeing the pictures and able to connect, the picture, the visual, and what they're reading. So that helped them, and that made sense. Sometimes when parents come to me and they're like, oh, my kid is not talking, or my kid is not doing this, and how can I help you? Many times I'm like, how well do you know your child? And I'm not saying that to be, I'm saying that because many times once you know your child, you know their likes, you know their dislikes, it can help. I have one of my twins likes, it would just lay cows, just cars on the floor. It used to do that. It doesn't do that anymore. I think it outgrew all that. Some of those things neurodivergent kids would do. And some, as parents, we can be tempted to say, what are you doing? Play with cars normally. Eventually, what I found out and what I started doing with him is I'd stay on the floor with him, and then we'll do the cast together, right? So we're aligning the cast together and we're looking at it. And through that, I'm like, oh, this is yellow car. This is green. This is blue. And then it would smile. Sometimes it would say it back with me. What am I doing? I'm trying to get him to understand his colors with the things he loves doing. And when I started using that strategy, I realized it wasn't as difficult as getting him to say, oh, yellow, oh, green. Even now, or at that time, he started bringing the car to me. I'm like, oh, yellow car. I'm like, yay, yellow car. And then from there, it became better. It was helpful because I'm getting them to do what they want to do. I'm getting them to be who I want them to be. And they're happy doing it with what they love. I hope that makes sense to somebody. Now, your own kid may not be able to read. Your own kid may not like visuals. But your own kid will definitely like something. So I'm encouraging you right now to know what your kid like and use what your kid like. I tell you, the process is going to be easier. It's going to be it's going to be joy and fun. So many things you guys are going to be doing, and you're going to be bonding together, as mother or as parents and child. Let's go on to the 5th thing. Okay, we took that already. Let's take this one. And then the 5th one is giving prompts and giving them time to respond, right? Giving prompts and giving them time to respond. Many times, we want them to do something, but because we are parents, especially of non-verbal kids, we already know what they want. We already know when it's dinner time. We already know when it's snack time. We already know. So what do? We just give it to them, or we just help them do it. This time around, I'm saying not yet. Okay? First, give them prompts. What do you want? And then don't be quick to say, oh, it's Apple time. Or just give them time. 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Just stay with them. Give them time to respond to what they want. Give them time to point to what they want. I know sometimes it's like, I have so many things to do. I can't wait for this. Or maybe sometimes in their head, I'm telling you, many of these neurodivergent kids, they know the words. They're just trying to say it. They're just trying to pronounce. They're just trying to, produce it through sounds in their mouth. But it takes them time, and it takes them. It could take a little bit. So when you give a prompt, give them time. Give them time. Stay with them. Just sit with them, stay with them, give them time to respond. And if they don't, give them what they want, try it again. Keep trying that method of giving them a prompt and giving them time to respond. Give them a prompt, give them up to 30 seconds to respond. Keep trying. Once they realize that you're patient with them and you're willing to wait that time to help them, think and put those words or sentences together, they will trust you enough to be able to say that, and growth can come from there. All right, let's go on to number 6. I missed number 5, number 6. I do not have number 6 here, but let me see if I can pull it up somewhere. Number 6. Okay, number 6 is keeping things out of reach. Keeping things out of reach. For neurodivergent kids, it also, we can put it goes hand in hand with giving them time to respond and keeping things out of reach. They almost go hand in hand. The only difference now is that this time around, you're putting things far. All right. So if your kids like playing with blocks and stuff, and this is this is their favorite thing in the world, many times you can keep it within reach. But other times when you're trying to get them to communicate, take this out of reach, put it high somewhere, and let them come to you and let them use your words. Now they come to you, you know what they want. What they want is brick, right? Don't give them. Tell them brick, brick, brick. See if they are willing, if they are ready to say brick after you. Give them a little bit of time. If not, go ahead and give them the brick. I think one of the things I used to do is I'd hold it back until it became an issue. I'm like, you have to say it. And then they start crying, and then I'm frustrated, and we repeat the cycle all over and over and over again. Now, what you're doing when you give them back is not reinforcing them not speaking. No, you're telling them that, hey, I know that you have tried this time around, or I see that you're willing, you're not able to. I'm going to give you what you want, but we're going to try it. But the next time you try it, make it longer. So the first time, they want this, you keep it out of reach. You help them within 5 minutes. They're not able to pronounce it, you give them. The next time you want to try it, make it longer, right? So take the brick out of sight, place it high. They come to you, you know what they want is brick. This time around, wait 10 minutes. But you're teaching them, hey, baby, it's brick. You probably do some of the things they like. Tickle them if you want. Brick, brick, brick. That's brick, brick. Play with them. My kids like to tickle. So I kind of would tickle them. Brick, brick, crush, brick, brick and stuff like that. And we could take 10 minutes. They're not crying. We're not frustrated. We're playing in the process. Do it for 10 minutes. The next time, leave it out for like 20 minutes. If your kids, have that, if they're going to speak and they're ready to speak and they're willing to speak at that time, eventually they would understand that this is brick, and the way they can get it is by letting you know that it's brick, or at least saying brick, brick, brr. And also, one of the things I'll tell you is, if all your kid is able to say is and they're not able to say brick, just clap for the kid and give it to that kid immediately, because that way you are reinforcing positive behavior. You're reinforcing, the fact that your kid has attempted, your kid has tried. Brick. The kid says, you're like, good job. Give it to the kid. The next time, you'd see that the kid would be excited to want to come play the game with you, so to speak, and probably receive his brick. Let's move on to we've taken 5. Let's go on to number 7. Teach one thing at a time. Teach one thing at a time. This is something I'm still learning, teaching one thing at a time, because many times we have all these things we want to teach them. We want to teach them water. We want to teach them food. We want to teach them how to, use the potty. We want to teach them how to ask for things. But one of the things I've realized that works, especially with neurodivergent kids, is one thing at a time. So if all we are focused on this week is water, I know we can still put all the other things, but let most of what we say is water. So water, 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 water when they're in the restroom, water when they're drinking, water. So make that the word of the week, the word of 2 weeks. Just help keep mentioning it. Water, water. Bring water in all the things you do. Water. All this kind of things. And then whenever they say water or water, whatever they say, as much as possible, try not to correct them immediately. I still do that too many times. Like when my kids are saying something and they just say a new word, my first instinct is just to say, no, 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 say it like that. But I'm learning to let them use that word at first. Let them use it in a sentence. Let them say it the way it's comfortable for them. And then when they're a little bit comfortable in that word, then you can now teach them and say, hey, say it the way it should be to them. And don't say it just as a means to correct them. Say it in a fun way. Say it in a, just say it. For instance, my kids, I think there was one time we're trying to teach them, my husband and I were trying to teach them, things to see on a bridge and stuff. And then there was a way I'm trying to remember now how they would say it. Maybe they can say the bridge is on. They say it in a very weird way, right? And then we'll try to correct them and all. But eventually what we did was when they'd say the wrong thing, right? We'll just give them time. We'll say it alongside. But after a while, what we started doing is instead of just saying, no, that's not it, we'll just say the correct thing, right? So if they're saying water, 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 or they're saying banana, 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 let them say it for a little bit. Give them time to keep saying the banana, banana, banana. Let them say it for a while. And then after about times pass, once they say banana, you bring the banana and say banana, 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 banana. Add some fun, add some laughter, add some playfulness. I assure you that you'd start seeing that change little by little, not as you wanted, but little by little. Let's get to tip number 8 I use, celebrating big and little progress. I do not know if it's just a neurodivergent mom thing, but one of the things I've realized is we moms of neurodivergent kids, we're very quick to celebrate our kids' progress. There is no one as happy as a mom of a non-verbal kid that makes his first sentence. And it wouldn't matter if the kid is making the first word at 3 or the first word at 6, at 7. And I want to encourage you as a mom of a neurodivergent kid or parent of a neurodivergent kid, if you have a kid that is neurodivergent, is don't be tempted not to keep celebrating that little progress. If your kid is making one word, celebrate it. When it comes to 2, celebrate it. And my own kid or my own twins, one of the things I've realized with them is they are very heavy on appreciation. They're very heavy on you just recognizing them and celebrating them. So when they do something like, yay, good job, they're happy. They want to do it again because they know that, I've appreciated them. They know that I've held them in a way and they like it. So they want to do it again. They want to say it again. They are excited to. So whatever progress your kid is making, I want to encourage you to please celebrate the big and little progress because it will go a long way. You think the kids do not appreciate you celebrating them, but they do. They do. And the more you celebrate them, the more they want to show off what they can do. The more they want to tell you they can do this and that. So whatever it is your kid is doing, don't be quick to just correct. Don't be quick to say, oh, this is how we should be. Just celebrate it and say, good job. You learned that word today. Good job. Whoa. Just celebrate it. Celebrate the big wins. Celebrate the little wins. Now let's go on to number 9, running through real quick. Okay, let's take this out. Teaching them how I want them to speak. So I made an example earlier. When a kid is saying banana, right? Instead of saying no, one of the best ways to go about it is just say banana. So not only saying no, 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 and negating everything they're saying, but also helping them know how to say it. So if your kid is not putting the sentences together, like your kid say, I go there, or I water for water, I went, it's okay the first time, the second time, celebrate it. And then when you're trying to help them to get to a place where they are, get to a place, helping them correct it a little bit, say it the way you want them to speak it. I went there. I bought ice cream, whatever. Just say it in a way that you would like them to speak it, and the way you want to speak it in that way. I am happy. I am sad. Things like that. Just say it the way you would like them to say it. And even if they mix it, don't be quick to just no, 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 no. Don't say it like no, no. Just say it the way you'd like them to say it. And the last tip I think I have for you all is being patient. With my kids, results did not appear at first. Fine, they were reading and that was helpful, and I'm very thankful for that. But many of the things I did not get the results at first. I did not. Sometimes we spend weeks and weeks. I'm like, is this thing even working? And one day they'll wake up and just do it even after I've forgotten about it. I'm like, oh my God, it worked. There's some words and some sentences I used to teach them that I feel like they did not get, it's just, or some things I'll do, some method I'll try. But then you just realize that later they actually did. The key is patience. Patience because results will not appear at first. Patient also because kids are different. Now, these tips I have actually pointed out are tips for my kids. Hopefully they can work for you, but they may not work for you. Why? Because kids on the neurodivergent spectrum are different. Some kids, no matter what you do, no matter what you don't do, will not speak until they are 10. Some kids are not even going to speak at all. And it's not going to boil down to the things you're doing or the things you're not doing. It's just going to boil down to the kid and who the kid is. And as a parent of a neurodivergent kid, I kind of get it. I understand, how we want them to do many things and all, but I also want you to be patient. I want you to understand that behind every autistic ADHD kid, there is a kid, first of all, and love that kid, cherish that kid, understand that kid, just play with that kid. Honestly, I think the best moments for me are just the times where I just dropped all this expectation, in the meantime challenging my kids, because I tell you we do heavy stuff. We're doing grade 1, grade 2 work even right now because I know that they can. But one of the things that has really helped me with my kid is just dropping down everything and just being their friend and being their mom and being their support and just loving them and accepting them even when they couldn't say a word or when they're saying words now, just loving them and playing with them. And there's a lot of fun and joy. And I can even see that they everything has changed, or things are changing for us. Of course, we're a work in progress, but things are changing for us. My kids initially, when they were 3, they didn't want to communicate. Now they're calling me to come watch TV with them. They're calling me to come do things with them. They're calling me to come spend time with them. And through that process also, I'm teaching them now. Our teaching is not as stressful. Of course, sometimes they want to be nuts, and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen here because kids, but many times I just love them. I let them be, and it's been very helpful for our relationship. And if some of the things I've put down today does not work for you, hey, that's okay. You've tried, it didn't work out, that's good. Try other methods. Watch a lot of YouTube, make a lot of researches. You may find a thing that works for you. And remember, like I said, it probably won't matter what you do or what you don't do. There's some kids that no matter what you do, they're still not going to speak until they are ready, or they're not going to speak at all, because that's just how God's made them. The last tip I'm going to leave with you here is pray for your kid. I am a woman of faith, and one of the things that's helped me, that is still helping me, is prayers. Everything I've asked God for, I've seen it come to pass. Many times I prayed for my kids and I asked for specific things, and God is doing it for me. So pray for your kids. If you're a Christian, and even if you're not, why don't you try God and pray for your kid? Tell God the specific thing you want, the changes you want to see in your kid, the growth you want to see in your kid, and God will do that for you. if it's in his will for him to do that. Today's show, I just thought I'd come in, go straight to the point, dive into what we want so that we can go, spend the rest of our Friday. So it's a little bit different. Usually I'd read comments, usually I'd take phone calls, but we're not doing that today. I thought to try a little, something different, just be out of here in about 30 minutes. And that's what I hope I've been able to do. I hope you have learned one or two things. Do not forget to hit the like button. Please do hit the like button. Leave us a comment below. Let us know what you've done, your experience with this. If you have a neurodivergent kid, or you know someone who does, or you just have, tips for parents generally, would like to hear from you even after the show. My name is Imo Folami, and until next week when I come your way again, I tell you, have a blessed, beautiful, wonderful weekend. And next week, that's April, is Autism Awareness Month. So I hope you're getting ready, parents of autistic kids, or if you just have a neurodivergent kids in general. We're going to be celebrating big time come next month. My name is Imo Folami. You have yourselves a wonderful night rest. Bye.